The following is an AI-based parody created for satire and entertainment purposes. All voices, conversations, and scenarios are artificially generated and do not represent the opinions, actions, or voices of any individuals represented. This content is not meant to confuse or misinform.
It's time to lock in viewers. It's your boy Big D Trump ready to show my sidekicks how this game is really played.
We'll be wrapping up the first wave of recruitment missions, and Donald said he'd also clear Horizon today.
He also said he'd do all of it without dying. And that's complete cap if I've ever heard it. Horizon is one of the toughest missions.
Oh, I'll get it done. Just you wait.
Hey, Commander, we got Garrus back. That's great, because he was totally my favorite. With that pole up his ass.
I knew there was a reason I like Joker. He knows the bird is boring too.
We're just having an argument over personalization of my workspace.
Cerberus regulations are clear, Mr. Moreau. Personalization does not include grease on my bridge cameras.
Joker is up here eating snacks and touching everything.
All the amazing tech inside the Normandy you'd think it'd be able to clean itself.
See you, Commander.
Do we have to talk to Jacob?
Yes, Donald. Even if you don't like him, it's important we make the rounds on the ship.
Don't we get something kind of important from Jacob? Or am I making that up?
Jacob offers us the heavy ship armor for the Normandy, a vital upgrade if you want everyone to survive the entry through the Omega-4 relay.
Wait, did we get the upgrade? I forget who dies if we don't have it.
Oh, don't worry, Joe. We got it off screen when you weren't around.
Oh, okay, cool.
I heard you were big in the Alliance. Figured we have something in common.
I did some things that caught attention and stirred up the Citadel.
Is being the protagonist of a mobile game, no one played what passes for stirring up the Citadel these days?
For what it's worth, Jacob did seem to be a decently accomplished Marine.
What was your
Setting aside his time with the Corsairs, the Alliance were prepared to promote Jacob just to keep him when he was trying to resign.
I wonder how Jacob feels wasting his time saving the Council just for me to kill him.
I believe the events of Galaxy take place after Mass Effect 1. So technically Jacob should be saving the counselors that came after the ones we first meet. Interestingly enough, though, in the mobile game we see the original Asari counselor, which means Shepard saves the council according to Galaxy, since the all-human council hasn't been formed.
That's why I'm here.
You make no apologies for doing what you had to. I admire that.
That's as close to complimenting Taylor as I'm ever going to get.
They did the same to you. General public never knew you were dead or heard the real story of the Citadel.
How the hell do you cover up the disappearance of the first human Spectre and humanity's
You
hero?
were the human ideal for like 6 months. Then they replaced you with a composite image they invented.
Well, hold on a second. They were out here using our image for recruitment advertisements. We gotta have some royalties to collect.
Pretty sure this is referring to the Shepard VI we'll hear about later on in the game, plus the one we see in Mass Effect 3.
But I can see benefit in keeping some things from the public.
Yeah, can't let the folks know all our secrets. It'd be really bad if anyone found out what's actually in Area 51.
Joe, goddammit, shut up. If that gets out, we're all cooked, not just you.
Glad I'm not in your chair, though. Gonna be a rough ride. I should get back to work. Good talking to you, Shepard.
Shepard, how can I help?
Now for a little chat with Morden about his genophage work.
Morden talks about the genophage like Miranda talks about her genetic modifications.
I guess the theme of this episode is about being dishonest and covering up information.
Also, other kinds need to clear the air. Mission too important to keep secrets. Work on genophage was more than just study.
Obviously, no one ever just studies anything. There's always some extra sauce on the sandwich.
I always love sitting through Morden's conversations because you can see his character growth take shape during them.
More like you get to hear Morden cope about how the genophage was totally valid.
It was valid the Krogan needed to be stopped, or they would have overrun the Milky Way.
Interesting how you two seemingly switch your morality stances when the topic is the genophage.
Donald doesn't actually care about the Krogan, he just takes the opposite position of the Turians.
I do care about the Krogan. Rex is my goat and Grunt is my son.
Never met Krogan scientist worthy of term. No.
Yeesh, don't ever let anyone tell you only dumb people can be bigoted.
What? Morden is right, there are no Krogans worthy of the term.
We are literally going to meet a Krogan who proves himself a capable scientist by creating tons of full-grown and powerful Krogan berserkers.
So Morden insists that his modification stabilizes the Krogan population, but as far as we know, they're going extinct according to Rex. Sounds like Doc here needs to go crunch the numbers again.
I'm sure Morden's calculations were correct, but he didn't account for the Krogan's response to the genophage. Instead of settling down and focusing on repopulating like Rex wanted, the males went out and started fighting and dying as mercenaries, and the women gave into despair, and would often go out to be eaten by the Thresher Maws. This caused the Krogan to start dying out a lot faster than the Solarians anticipated.
The Krogan basically had to choose between sex and blowing shit up, and they chose the latter. Kind of based, not gonna lie.
Why not just sterilize them outright?
Not a war criminal.
I don't know, man. The three of us here know a thing or two about war crimes, and dropping a sterility plague definitely got to be somewhere on the spectrum.
Worth saving. Genophage modification protected galaxy.
Morden kind of sounds like he's trying to convince himself he's done right.
I agree, probably reading into it a bit too deeply like I always do, but seems like Morden is just repeating something he tells himself when he's trying to get to sleep.
Wanted you to know I'm willing to do what's necessary. Should get back to work. Talk more later. Next time tissue synthesis has to compile. Good for free time.
I have a present for you, Doc.
We got your wine, Doc.
If Dr. Chakwas has no fans, then I'm f***ing dead.
The vast majority of the fan base agrees with you, Joe. Chakwas has no haters as far as I'm aware.
Not bad for a woman whose first name is Karen.
I think we'd be using a different name for people who are being excessively annoying by the time we reach the 22nd century.
The best part about not being on an alliance ship is no regulations against intoxication.
Pretty sure we stopped giving a damn about the regs when we started dating Ashley.
Maybe if Joe hadn't killed her.
You still crying about that?
You'll be crying yourself one of these days.
I believe I covered this at the end of Mass Effect 1, but Chakwa's story here refers to a cut scene at the beginning of the game. Jenkins is significantly less enthusiastic about the whole thing. Interestingly enough, this unused Normandy content exists within ME1, and someone reconstructed the scene about a year ago.
You could have gotten a tour of duty on any Alliance ship.
Didn't Chakwas technically not leave the Alliance?
She officially took a leave of absence before signing on with Cerberus. That's how she avoids prison time, unlike engineers Ken and Gabby.
Apparently, the Alliance doesn't care if you join a terrorist organization as long as you use your paid time off to do it.
That must be why Engineer Adams didn't join up with us when Cerberus offered him a role on the SR2. Bro must have blown through all his PTO.
Don't you have any friends or family?
You know, there's actually very little information on Dr. Chakwas. No birth year, no mention of where she was born, or anything like that. The only additional info to offer on her is that she's actually got the rank of Major in the Alliance, putting her on par with Kaidan during the events of Mass Effect 3.
Sadly, it's true.
Now for a toast to my goat Joker, may he avoid many a crushed pelvises during his time with Edie.
You guys think Edie is a top?
Most definitely.
Can you two not talk about this?
Our vision is looking a little woozy.
Getting f***ed up off one glass is absolutely crazy work.
Give Barton Joe Shepard a break. He's been in a coma for 2 years. His tolerance is a little down, that's all.
We're gonna need to get it together if we want to go out drinking with Rex and Grunt.
Hopefully we aren't over here slurring our words while we talk to Miranda.
Miranda's got a gamer set up over there, 3 monitors. Pretty impressive.
She has another monitor in the back corner over there. The hell kind of work is she doing?
I don't know, video editing or something? I mean, having more than one monitor definitely changes the game.
I might vibe with the elusive man, but I'm the one running this
You're enjoying it. Just remember who's in charge.
I know exactly who's in charge. I report to him regularly.
Miranda, sweetheart, I could take this ship straight to the Citadel and let the Alliance or the Council take it.
I feel like that might be a really bad idea. Edie is still shackled, and all it would take is the elusive man assuming direct control and just making the Normandy go crazy and escape.
I suppose you deserve to know. Do you remember when I told you how I was genetically altered?
Miranda, you talk about it so much that even I can remember that you're genetically altered.
My father created me.
Miranda, no need to shy away from adult language. We're all adults here.
He didn't want a daughter. He wanted a dynasty.
And now we face one of the very many daddy issues in Mass Effect 2.
Why the hell is Kelly here if all our squad mates are just going to unload all their baggage on Shepard?
It especially doesn't help that Barton Joe Shepard was basically an orphan, Miranda over here talking about her daddy, when ours probably got melted by a flamethrower or sold into slavery.
We're out here trying to run the Trauma Olympics. Oh, you think your trauma's bad? Well, here's mine.
The crew of the Normandy SR2 is basically one giant get-together of shonen anime protagonists, all talking about how rough their childhood was.
Genetic alterations included, but unlike my father and his own selfish reasons.
What exactly was Henry Lawson's goals with Miranda again?
Henry was apparently obsessed with making his mark on history by having a genetic dynasty.
How in the f*** was he going to have a dynasty when his genetic tailoring of Miranda made her sterile?
All I can say is that Henry Lawson ain't too smart.
My father believed deeply in a human positive agenda. He donated generously to Cerberus.
Wait, a rich guy who's dumb as a brick and just egotistical enough to clone himself to create the perfect daughter. And also donated generously to Cerberus. Donald, you got something you want to tell us?
Are you trying to insinuate that I'm Henry Lawson or something?
You did admit to being a generous backer of Cerberus when we were playing Mass Effect 1.
You guys are crazy, as if I would ever be bitch-made enough to use my own chromosomes to make a daughter when I have Melania.
You know what, you're right. You probably aren't smart enough to use your Y chromosome that way to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a minute.
I almost snuck that one right by you.
Just a tool to be used by your father By Cerberus?
Are we sure Shepard isn't the one with the PhD in psychology?
In hindsight, it makes complete sense that Shepard would know all the right things to say in this situation. Our charisma stat must be maxed out by default.
No wonder we're able to win every romance option with just a few intimate conversations.
The difference is you were great before we rebuilt you. I'm great because of it.
Your spirit and personality are what make you great.
You trying to hit Miranda up on my behalf, Donald?
Keeping my options open, that's all.
I'm not sure I believe you, but thanks for saying it.
Thanks for your time, Miranda.
Do we really have to sour the mood by talking to the Turian? Wasting time on Jacob was bad enough.
You keep bad-mouthing Garrus and the audience is going to turn on you, Donald.
Come on, he's like a shittier and way less interesting version of Punisher.
You're way too hard on Garrus. He was actually up to some interesting stuff during the time skip. You gotta admit that.
The only thing I gotta admit is that he's a goddamn loser. Bro couldn't cut it in the Turian military, couldn't cut it in CSEC, couldn't cut it as a Spectre, and even his work on Omega failed. What has this guy done right?
You just hate Garrus because all the ladies love him, Donald.
I'm not surprised you like Garrus so much, Joe. You're two peas in a pod, you both suck at your jobs.
And I'm not surprised you like Rex so much. You're about as heavy as him.
The both of you settle down. There's an interesting bit about Garrus and his squad. They perfectly mirror Shepard's team for the suicide mission. A 12-member squad that Garrus forms by showing them he can get things done.
Did he just say no one was paying him? No wonder it all fell apart. Ain't no one trying to do charity work.
Some people like to act out of the goodness of their hearts.
I can't buy a Big Mac with good vibes, Sleepy Joe.
It is odd that Garrus says no one was paying him and his squad. According to the Mass Effect Homeworld's comics, his gang was successful enough that they wound up with a surplus of credits. Most of them wanted to use the money to settle down and live comfortably.
They were probably selling the loot they got from all their jobs, which is basically the same thing as payment.
But let me guess, the stick-up-his-ass Turian over here didn't want his people to settle down.
Good guess, Donald. Yes, Garrus wanted his men to use their funds to start hitting areas that were previously out of their reach. Garrus pushed his people too hard in hopes of eliminating all crime on Omega.
Eliminating all crime on Omega would necessitate going after Arya. Even I got to call Garrus stupid for that one.
Garrus pressing so hard no doubt factored into Sidonis being so willing to betray the rest of the team when he's captured by Blue Suns.
In other words, Garrus failed because he didn't secure the loyalty of all his team members.
You got it, Joe.
A whole lot of yapping when you could have just said the bird is a worse version of us.
Yeah, I guess Garrus's mistake was not calling up his dad and his sister to fill roles they're woefully unqualified for.
What exactly are you getting at, Joe?
Oh, nothing at all, Donald.
And now they're dead. Shows what I know.
Tell me about your squad.
There were 12 of us, including...
No wonder they failed. C-Sect officers? Former military? Nothing compared to the galaxy's best assassin.
Of course, they get the cool Solarian that likes to blow shit up while we get the doctor.
Put some respect on Morden's name, Donald.
Not the friendliest guy, but he could have...
Damn, they really do not want us to like Batarians. Even the dude on Garrus's team wasn't a friendly guy.
In his defense, this is a Batarian on Omega. No one can afford to be friendly there.
One of my people betrayed me. A Turian named Sidonis.
Well, funny enough, it was the other Turian who betrayed him and not the Batarian. It really be your own people.
As the saying goes, not all skinfolk are kinfolk.
And because I didn't see it coming.
I'm not sure I understand. What happened exactly?
Sidonis asked for my help on a job. When I got to the meeting point, nobody was there. By the time I got
That's a classic ploy, the old fake job trick.
Killed all but 2 of my squad. And they didn't last long.
Do you know
Damn, if only we'd gotten there just a bit sooner, we could have saved a couple of Garrus's people.
Leaves Omega, but I'll keep hunting. I lost my whole team except for Sidonis. One day I'll find him and correct that.
That is the only cold moment the Turian has in the entire trilogy.
Shepard, I've got some things to take care of.
I just heard...
I'm going to stop by the engineers here for a quick game of cards.
You should have waited for us to recruit Tali so she could play with us.
It's just a one-off voice line or two from her.
Tali will comedically say she thought she had a pretty good poker face.
I mean, she's not wrong. You can never tell what's going on underneath the mask. No wonder people don't like Quarians.
So the dialogue you pick here will determine how the game goes. The charm and intimidate options will throw Kenneth off his game and you'll win 500 credits. The renegade option will win you 100, but the play for fun option will cost you 100. It's also worth pointing out you get no morality points from this.
I like Kenneth, so I won't cook him too badly.
That might be the nicest thing you've done in the game so far.
Shit, you play some mean cards, Shepard.
I'm the best there is, Miss Daniels.
You're all right, Shepard.
Always got to make time for the engineers.
Don't let Chief Engineer Adams hear you say that.
Engineer Adams doesn't count. It's finally time to go pick up my baby boy Grunt from the hospital.
Aren't we technically here for Grunt's actual daddy, Warlord Okeer?
Okeer might be Grunt's dad, but I'm the dad that stepped up.
Isn't it kind of weird that we're here to pick up another scientist when we have Morden? What's the point of Okeer exactly?
The dossier on Okeer has his millennia of combat experience and his familiarity with collector technology as the main reasons we're recruiting him.
Stay focused.
Interestingly enough, Okeer is one of few Krogan we know of that fought in the Krogan Rebellion, making him one of, if not the oldest character in the series.
Damn, that's not even Uncle Gramps anymore, that's great-granddad.
You're gonna need to add a few more greats onto that.
You know, I vaguely remember hating this mission for some reason.
We did rank it as the worst recruitment mission in the game, didn't we?
It's not great, a whole lot of combat, and a really weak antagonist.
One thing I wish this mission did was sell the conflict between the Blue Suns and the Krogan Berserkers. Technically, we're third party in this battle, but in reality, it feels like it's everyone versus us.
That would be sick.
Now's as good a time as any for me to drop some more information in the cut content corner.
Yup, session incoming.
There were 2 other Krogan squad mates in the cut characters template. The first one I'll mention is called the Krogan War Queen. Unfortunately, the exact details of this character were not shown in the video.
A female Krogan? Damn, as much as I love Grunt, we needed more of those. Kesh and Bakara just aren't enough.
This will put them down.
Okay, apparently Garrus just started hacking.
Pretty dog shit hack, he's hanging out in the open, he's an easy target.
Gotta say I'm loving all the weird shit that I've never seen before happening during these videos.
At least all the glitches we're running into are mostly cosmetic stuff.
Shit. I won't stop bleeding.
My brother in Christ, we have an easily portable, all cured injuries in this universe. Stop crying about a little bit of blood.
Jedor has to have the most pissed poor group of mercs across the entire Blue Suns organization.
Buddy, the N7 insignia on our armor should make it abundantly clear we're Alliance.
I've got a nice application of Medigel ready to go.
I'm just teasing, bro. Isn't getting a drop of Medigel from me.
I don't know anything. I just shoot the overflow from the labs.
Just shoot the overflow from the labs? No wonder the Berserkers went crazy and started killing all you dumbasses.
Dor hired him to make her an army, but the Krogan he creates are insane.
Are they insane or are they just Krogan? These guys didn't realize what they were getting themselves into.
Bro just admitted that he used full-grown Krogan who literally just spawned as live ammo training. And none of these buffoons realized how badly that could backfire.
I don't have the info they want. You showed up before I could get my normal sightings.
You better start getting real imaginative real fucking quick, son.
Patrol, pack sighting east of Station 2. Yeah.
Copy. East of 2.
Son of a bitch. They'll run blind into Krogan.
I don't see how that's my problem, personally.
Might find a shady spot before you bleed out.
That'll teach him to not pack a steady supply of Medigel.
The scare was a nice touch.
I thought so.
Barry said there were 2 cut Krogan before we got caught up with that guy.
Yes, thank you, Joe. The second one is a bit more interesting. They're called the Design a Krogan. Cerberus would give us a Krogan breeding chamber, and with some genetic material, potentially gathered from Rex if he's alive, we'd get to raise an adult Krogan from scratch.
A literal Build-A-Bear Krogan, and it could be based on Rex's DNA. Now you're talking.
It also seems Garrus was a bit of an inspiration for this Krogan as well.
I take it back, you just ruined it.
Man, you really do not like Garrus.
If I can finish, the inspiration comes from us being able to alter Garrus's morality in Mass Effect 1. The Design a Krogan would have a similar function where we would raise it to imitate Shepard's Paragon or Renegade decisions.
I guess we'd get to put Krogan morality to the test. Are they the way they are because of their nature, or could they be raised to be better?
That cut character is basically just Grunt anyway, aside from us getting to change how he behaves.
It's a good concept, kind of wish this one made it in. Could have added more depth to our interactions with Grunt.
Also, here's another reason this is the worst goddamn recruitment mission. All these fucking enemies on high up ledges. This is a Vanguard player's worst nightmare.
God forbid Vanguard players do anything other than charge dick first into combat. You do have other abilities, you know.
But none of them are charge.
To be fair, this is a pretty good example of how limited Mass Effect 2's combat is. You pretty much have no choice but to play in cover.
Goddamn Mass Effect 3 can't come soon enough so I can play the way I want.
Hey, Donald, I think your squad mates didn't make it through the last area.
I don't need them. I got the perfect sidekick right here, the Krogan Berserker.
How nice of one of Grunt's brothers to lend us a hand with the Blue Suns. Good push, Donald. I guess you really can play classes other than Vanguard.
I don't play Vanguard because it's all I can play. I play it because it's all I want to play.
Well, you keep this up and we'll definitely be playing Vanguard in Mass Effect 3.
God, I hope not.
We really got to get the Berserker there into the training range. That's the second Carnage blast he's missed in this fight.
Give him a break, he just spawned like 7 days ago.
Anyway, that was some light work. How nice of Miranda and the bird to join us. I hope you too enjoyed your little nap while the 7-day-old and I did everything.
If this was female shepherd bro, would be at the perfect height.
Aren't Krogan supposed to be hulking masses of muscle? Why is this one so small?
Krogan are typically 7 feet tall, but that includes their backs, which protrude upward.
So what you're telling me is that Krogan are the big backs of the Mass Effect universe.
My kind of people, they love to
Breed
eat.
them full size, ready to kill. Not much improvement over regular mercs if they need training.
They're not much improvement over regular mercs if they start killing all of the regular mercs too, to be fair.
The Blue Suns did that to themselves.
You know, this Krogan seems like a decent guy. Strong, well-mannered. Maybe we should just recruit him and get on out of here.
He's got a little bit of that dog in him, but he's no Urdnot grunt.
We'll soon hear that he's not too keen on coming with us anyway.
I will show you.
Might be the nicest Krogan we've ever met.
Bro was showing off. All he had to do was tip the metal slab over, but nah. Lil Man wanted to put on a show.
Fleshy things are slow when big things are in your way.
Pretty funny considering how slowly Krogan move in this game.
No.
Come on, man, we can prepare some raw Solarian livers for you to sweeten the deal.
Good Lord, Donald, we're not feeding the tank-born Krogan Morden's liver.
Oh, come on, we can find another Solarian to make the Seeker Swarm countermeasure.
Have purpose. I must wait until called. Released.
Well, later, dude, have a nice life on Corliss.
What do you think happens to the tank-born Krogan?
I don't know, he probably stays here and fights Blue Suns until he gets bored. I sure hope there's food here for him. Well, if not, he can always eat the remains of the Suns.
Jesus Christ, Donald, what is with you and eating sentient beings today?
I didn't get lunch before I came over, and that's my mistake, I suppose. But Joe, we're in the White House. Would it kill you to get a little bit of catering for these videos?
No one wants to hear your fat ass chewing a Big Mac sandwich directly into the microphone.
In case anyone wants to know, Corliss, the planet we're on, is actually well populated as it houses nearly 4 billion individuals. It's essentially a giant scrapyard for StarCraft, and has a travel advisory as it ranks second in murder per capita in the Terminus systems, and first in off-worlder murder. So needless to say, any surviving tank-born Krogan either integrated perfectly fine into this environment, or got themselves off-world in a space vessel.
Yo, did you see me combo that Krogan off the crate? That shit was funny as hell.
Sorry, I was going through my lore notes.
Don't worry, Donald, I saw it. Damn, what the hell happened to that guy?
I'm thinking one of the Krogan got a little hungry after all.
Oh, Kier needs to come teach his sons how to clear the meat off the bone. Way too much left on that guy.
Look out!
Oh, f me in my ass.
Garrus did tell you to watch out.
This is bullshit. I opened the door and got greeted by 2 rockets immediately.
Unpause, Donald, you're cooked.
This is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever seen.
Hey, Barry, remind me, didn't Donald say something about not dying at all this episode?
I think you're right, Joe. I do recall that being said at the end of part 2.
Bro didn't even make it to Horizon without catching an L.
No, I said I wouldn't die on Horizon.
Donald, I'm the one who watches the videos back, and you said you'd recruit Jack, grunt, and complete Horizon all without dying.
Can't lie yourself out of this one, champ?
Fine, whatever. It's just one death, not like it matters.
Sure, now it's just one. Then next thing you know, you've died a second time, a third time, and a fourth time after that.
Yeah, you would know a whole lot about that, Sleepy Joe. But me personally, I promise you I'm not dying 5 goddamn times in one episode. That would be embarrassing.
I'm gonna hold you to that one, Donald.
The squad mates are down for good now.
You know, I see it said that Garrus's and Morden's recruitments are pretty tough, but they're not as bad as Grunt's. It's just a constant barrage of enemies after enemies. And you're almost always fighting from a disadvantage.
Doesn't help that I'm stuck on Sentinel. I can't reposition for shit on this class. Put me on Vanguard and this is nothing.
There is no way Vanguard would do better here with all these long-ranged opponents hitting you with rockets.
Ideally, we'd be on Infiltrator and just skip past all these guys. But Donald, you gotta do it the hard way.
Hard is the only way I know how to do things.
This should be the last stretch of combat before we get to Okier.
What in the hell is the bird doing?
Witnessing some very interesting behavior from the squad-mate AI right now.
It'd be cool if glitching out like that didn't leave Garrus fully exposed to enemy fire.
And now he's f***ing dead.
This guy is supposed to be the badass super sniper? Please, I've seen better. Finally, on the last guy, they really throw a damn gauntlet at you on this mission.
The room coming up next will be empty for us. But within it, you'll find Rana Thanoptis if you spared her in Mass Effect 1.
Of course you'd be mixed up in all this.
Rana is here because she created the mental imprint routine to educate Okeer's Krogan, which would include Grunt. Most of the Krogan don't survive the process.
Unfortunately, we aren't able to kill her this time around. At least this is one area where Paragon players catch an L for being too soft.
Good thing I smoked her ass on Vermeer.
Here you are. I've watched your progress.
I'm here to pick up my son now, Okeer.
It's about time. The batteries on these tanks will not wait while you play with these idiotic mercs.
I wasn't just playing with the mercs, jackass. A bunch of your f***ing kids came to fight me too.
Okeer really doesn't give a damn about any of the Krogan we had to gun down.
Of course not. Hell, Okeer gave the Collectors a bunch of Krogan for access to some of their technology, which was used to create Grunt. In the end, Okeer only needed one perfect specimen, and he has him.
For some reason, it never really hit me that Grunt was built using Collector technology, which is essentially Reaper tech as well.
It's a good thing whatever the Collectors gave Okeer didn't indoctrinate Grunt.
I know Paul Grayson from the Mass Effect novels got to be mad as hell about that. Bro got his stomach pumped full of Reaper-based nanites and completely lost himself. Meanwhile, Grunt was built using Reaper tech from scratch and is perfectly fine.
Saren can deliver his endless troops. In rides Shepard, securing victory through nuclear fire. I like that part.
I don't like that part. My wife was left behind in that nuclear fire.
Finest moment I've had in the last 4 years.
Joe, you won the White House within the last 4 years.
You live here once for 8 years, it kind of loses its charm.
Alone on nothing. The mistake of an outsider. One that these mercenaries have also made.
Essentially, Okeer is all about the quality of his Krogan and not the quantity.
I gave their leader my rejects for her army. But she grows impatient.
Okeer, my man, I respect what you've done here, but you're a goddamn Krogan and a war veteran at that. Why don't you just go down there and literally chew her head off or something? What the f*** is she gonna do?
We're on the same wavelength for this one, Joe. Okeer should not need our help dealing with Jedor. I'm sure it's been a few centuries since the Doctor's gotten his hands dirty, but he should be fully capable of dealing with fodder like Jedor and her blue sons.
Leave him alone. He's an old man and retired.
Man, isn't Drac from Andromeda basically the same age and he's out there kicking ass even though he's had to replace half his body with transplants to keep going?
Drac is like a shining beacon of light in the total darkness that is Mass Effect Andromeda.
So you don't want to cure the Genophage?
Contrary to what survivors claim, the Genophage does not produce strong Krogan.
Makes sense. All the Genophage does is make the vast majority of Krogan pregnancies unviable. It's a matter of luck whether a Krogan child dies or not.
I guess that's why absolute heads like not Reeves survived it.
Branded as precious. That's produced more cuddling than your collective human teats.
Wait, is teats another word for titty? I'm going to start using that.
Teats specifically refers to the nipple.
That's even better.
Die in a clutch. We will defeat it by climbing atop our dead. That is the Krogan way.
Damn, no wonder Rex doesn't like this guy. If he had things his way, the Krogan would have gone extinct to the Genophage.
Numbers. My soldier is a template. It is a greater threat than all the Phantom siblings.
All right, I like Grunt as much as the next guy, but even he isn't perfect enough to solo the entire Milky Way.
What exactly is Okeer's endgame with Grunt? Like, I know he wants to ignore the Genophage, but to what end? What's the objective?
Okeer's goal is to bring the galaxy to its knees, believing that one perfect soldier is all it will take to return the Krogan to the height of power they held during the rebellion.
Simply lacks the ability to command.
So basically, Jedor didn't have enough aura to command a horde of Krogan. No wonder she's so unimpressive as an antagonist.
If a few thousand are rejected, so be it. My work will purify the Krogan. We will not be restored. We will be renewed.
The most basic looking character I've seen in this game, she literally looks like any other Blue Suns mercenary. Even Jenthra from Omega looked and sounded like she had more character.
Jedor looks like one of the preset faces for female Shepard.
She'll kill my legacy with a damn valve.
Okeer, my man, you're not too smart. Obviously, she would trace the Krogan release back to you. Why didn't you make preparations to leave?
Sorry, Doctor. It appears your position has just weakened.
Unfortunately, we still have to go down there and get our hands dirty on Okeer's behalf.
We can just pretend we're doing this for Grunt and forget about Okeer.
Good idea, Joe. You're on a roll today.
Stay and do what must be done.
This right here is either the easiest fight ever, or the most annoying shit imaginable.
Why's that?
If you can drop Jedor quickly, all you'll really have to deal with is maybe 1 or 2 Krogan and a mech. If you can't get to Jedor quick enough, you're going to have her, the mech, and 4 Krogan to deal with.
It might be a problem for you, but for me, This is going to go down as easily as Sovereign did at the end of Mass Effect 1.
It's just a good thing Krogan don't have the same movement speed they did in Mass Effect 1. This guy would be on you in 2 seconds otherwise.
All right, I've had enough hearing her doing all that yapping.
Bringing out the big guns for such a nobody like Jedor is crazy.
The damn mech won't let me run over there and punish her.
Loop around the other way. You'll get more breathing room.
Loop around the other way, he says the mech is still on me.
My bad, I forgot how damn quick those things are.
God damn it, that hurt. Why did the Krogan get to use Carnage? Where's my Carnage Blast?
Back in Mass Effect 1 where it belongs.
I do kind of agree with Donald here. The other gun talents aren't really needed, but I don't see why Carnage had to get dropped for Mass Effect 2, especially since it still exists in the game, just for Krogan. You've got an opening, Donald.
All right, I'm going for it. Bring that ass here.
Thank God now we can stop listening to Jedor speak more than the narrator to Hunter x Hunter.
This is for trying to gas my son when he hasn't even gotten to spawn yet. And that's done and over with.
If it's over, then why is she still talking?
Yeah, I don't think she died, Donald. I think her body went flying off somewhere.
Yeah, I think I can see her moving around over there on the other side of the arena.
And Garrus really is enjoying defying the laws of physics this episode.
I've given her one thing. She's resilient. Surviving those grenade shots and getting flung across the map is pretty impressive. Announcing that I won't win when you're currently a corpse is probably the purest form of cope I've ever seen.
I'm just glad her ass is grass.
Well, now that the old man is dead, we can finally get our real squad mate.
Orden has some unique dialogue if you happen to bring him to this mission.
No telling.
You'll be able to ask him if he's worried Grunt will make the Genophage obsolete, which he'll deny.
A pure Krogan could pack a hell of a punch. We can always use another heavy hitter.
If he'll help. I doubt anyone's asked for his opinion.
You see, that's your problem, Birdman. It's not about asking, it's about commanding. Krogan respect a good show of strength.
And he's a big one.
As I'm sure many of you know, you can actually choose to leave Grunt in his tank for the duration of the game.
That's never going to happen.
Not so renegade when it comes to his son, it seems.
There are some benefits to delaying Grunt's arrival. For one, the Collector Vessel mission won't unlock until you have 8 squad members, so you can keep Grunt in the pod and do side missions and loyalty missions to gain a few levels so the mission is easier on you.
If my math is right, I think I'm going to end up playing the Collector Vessel. Donald, don't wake Grunt.
I'm definitely waking him up now.
Edie, how many other crew are on board the Normandy?
24 permanent crew, Shepard.
Low-key one of the best renegade lines in the series, by the way.
Just be careful.
Noted. The cargo hold is safe enough while I decide what to do with them.
The subject is stable.
A few facts about Grunt. His ages have been listed twice. In the cinematic trailer for Mass Effect 2, Grunt's age is listed as 300 years old. But the defunct Mass Effect 2 website has his age listed as 22.
As far as I'm concerned, my baby boy's birthday is today. He just spawned.
Imagine being born in 2024, bro, done missed everything.
Actually, I'm pretty sure if we keep using the Greek alphabet, Grunt will be a part of Generation Nu, the 13th letter.
Speaking of which, the beef between Gen Alpha and Gen Beta is going to go crazy. I just know it. You can't be out here calling a bunch of teenage boys Alpha and expect them not to press the teenage boys who are Beta.
Everyone better just be glad the Generation Sigma is way far off.
Also, we kind of neglected this when we were talking about Wilson in Part 1, but his VA, Steve Bloom, also voices Grunt.
Secondary and tertiary organs were applicable. No defects of any kind, aside from the genetic markers of the genophage present in all Krogan. I cannot judge mental functioning.
Stand by. I'm gonna open the tank and let him out.
Not gonna lie, we probably should have suited up in our body armor before doing this.
You just don't get it, Joe. This is all about trust and bonding with our son. How can we expect Grunt to trust us if we don't trust him?
I mean, whatever man go off, I just know if it were me, I wouldn't be opening up the pod containing a potentially angry and violent dinosaur with enough strength to rip me in half wearing nothing more than casual wear.
Honestly, Joe is right. This is a pretty bad idea. We should at least get some cannon fodder. I mean, other Normandy crew in here to buy us some time while we vent the cargo hold in case this goes south.
You pair of babies need to relax. Things are going to go completely fine.
Jesus Christ, it's like staring down an angry refrigerator.
Now say hello to Papa Trump, Grunt.
Oh, he's going to say hello, all right.
It's a big old bear hug.
There is no goddamn way Shepard just tanked that.
7 foot tall, Probably 400-pound monster directly into a wall back first? Yeah, Shepard is cooked.
Up spine, broken ribs, and sternum, probably some busted organs in there, too.
Y'all know damn well Shepard is just built different. Taking a Krogan tackle seems par for the course when we get smacked up by the Shadow Broker.
Warlord, Legacy, Grunt. Grunt was among the last. It has no meaning. It'll do.
Of all the names to land on, Grunt goes with the one that means a low-ranking soldier.
Grunt is a fire name. I don't know what you're talking about.
You'll notice that Grunt's head plate isn't as solid as the one we see on Rex and other Krogan. That is meant to signify his youth. The plate will solidify as Grunt ages.
You want anything to eat, my boy? Preferably not me, of course, but I can get you some of those spicy noodles you like.
You know, Edie can see and hear everything that's happening right now, and absolutely no one is coming to help us.
She did say the consequences would be ours.
If you don't have morality to clear this, you'll have to shoot Grunt a few times to make him stand down, which makes him respect you.
I'd never raise a violent hand towards my boy.
Donald, if I didn't know better, I'd think you like Grunt more than your actual sons.
What do you mean, actual sons?
Yikes, okay, we're moving on from that.
Threaten galaxies. Everyone on my ship has earned their place.
No, God, I'm not ready yet.
The hell's wrong with you now, Donald?
Sorry, excuse me, I've developed a bit of a phobia about prisons.
Boy, you haven't even set foot in a jail cell yet.
You're not the one who's being scrutinized daily, Barack. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Okay, sure, buddy. Anyways, we know this prison is called Purgatory, not to be confused with the bar that goes by the same name on the Citadel.
It's finally time to pick up the best romance in the trilogy.
We are not romancing the bald one.
Donald, I will flay your skin and fashion it into a new leather jacket for Jack.
Damn, bro, it's not that serious.
Package is being prepped and you can claim it shortly. As this is a high-security vessel, you'll need to relinquish your weapons before we proceed.
I don't f***ing think so, Turian.
Buddy, this didn't go so well for the folks on Noveria when they tried this.
Who in the right mind would be dumb enough to hand over their guns here? We're in the Terminus system. Ain't no council laws protecting us.
You must realize this is just a standard procedure.
Your standard procedure is to keep my gun, you Groot-looking ass Turian.
Period.
Big dog, you are not going to try to mean mug Bard Joe Shepard. You'll lose this contest every time.
The facility is more than secure enough to handle 3 armed guests.
Yeah, that's what we thought, you punk ass.
Fun fact, Kurl here has the same voice as Saren and Balak.
That explains a lot.
No wonder I dislike this guy more than the average Turian.
You'll also notice that Kurl doesn't have any of the markings we typically see on other Turians. This makes him a bare face, a Turian who is not to be trusted.
How's that any different than normal?
Well, they kind of laid it out for us that Kurl was not to be trusted then.
Pretty much. The markings Turians were signify the colony they come from. So for Kurl to not have them must mean he either fully abandoned his home or they kicked him out for some reason. He's even further gone than Garrus was on Omega.
As an example, the ship is made up of 30 cell blocks identical to this one.
Why is bro chatting about his prison like we asked? Wrap it up already, we're on business, not for a tour.
Dude is yapping like he's the warden from the Boiling Rock in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, but unlike the warden of the Boiling Rock, Kurl doesn't stand 10 toes down on business when there's a prison break. God damn.
What was that, Barry?
Nothing. Carry on.
We're in space. They have nowhere to go, and they know it.
That's not going to stop them from leaving when we break this shit wide open.
These are dangerous.
Am I crazy, or are all the prisoners in this place humans?
Good catch, Joe. There are rumors that the Blue Suns turn skilled or fit prisoners over to Batarian slavers for a price. Considering that there's nothing but humans here, that seems likely.
Damn, pressing the big red button during the Arrival DLC mission is sounding sweeter and sweeter every passing second.
And the Supermax wing.
Inhumane. Unacceptable. Violation of basic organic dignity.
We're going to end up doing something like this on Thane's loyalty mission sooner or later.
Yeah, except we're doing it to a corrupt politician, you know, the people who deserve it most.
Nah, man, I'm just enjoying the show. This is a nice gig you got here.
I feel like watching the same beating take place for an hour every day would get old.
That's only if you're not getting creative. Hitting him with your gun? That's low skill shit. Anyone could think of that. Let's get a Varen in here and see how crazy things become.
I don't care where you take me or what you do to me. It's gotta be better than this.
Buddy, you don't know that. Be glad you haven't been sold to any slavery yet.
Forget what I just said. I don't want to go nowhere with you.
All right, have fun listening to the screams of your friend over there. I got a feeling you're next.
I hear the screaming in my head.
Oh, hell no.
I don't like this one.
Get out of here before he tries to talk to us.
My apologies, Shepard. You're more valuable as a prisoner than a customer.
What a surprise, the corrupt-ass warden betrayed us.
He gotta be about dumb as shit if he thought this was gonna go smoothly for him.
Bro got the funds from Cerberus to release Jack and got way too greedy with it. Now he's gonna die painfully.
Hey Donald, watch yourself in this room, this can be a bit tough.
Oh please, every time you tell me something's gonna be tough, it ends up being a piece of cake.
If you say so, man, I'm just warning you, there's not a lot of room to maneuver in here.
Hey, I don't like the way those two guys are moving.
Be quiet, it's fine, you drama queen.
Affirmative.
That guy has a shotgun, Donald.
What is this, a fucking joke?
Again, you got sniped immediately.
Don't say I didn't warn you, Donald.
Man, this is such horseshit. I want my shotgun back.
Yeah, I don't think lacking a shotgun is what cooked you there.
Don't let them just walk up on you a second time.
Jesus Christ, they just don't stop. Fried bird legs, anyone?
I guess it's a good thing we didn't feed Morden's liver to that Krogan from earlier.
Tech armor pulse coming in clutch there.
I am not going to die here again.
I should hope not. This is literally the first wave of combat.
Thank God that's over.
Shepard is loose is probably the single scariest thing you could hear in Mass Effect outside of a Reaper's horn.
If I'm on the clock and I hear Shepard is loose, I'm just walking my ass out the door.
I still really don't know what Kirill was thinking. Best case scenario for him was that Cerberus would rain hell down on Purgatory to get us back. Worst case scenario, the Alliance would send a whole bunch of people in to come get us out.
Barack, I'm pretty sure worst case scenario is exactly what's happening before our eyes. Shepard doesn't walk into the cell and we just start eating all of the Purgatory guards for lunch while we get ready to release all these dangerous criminals.
Good point. You know this is kind of like the Impel Down arc.
One Piece mentioned.
One Piece fans, don't insert yourself into every conversation challenge. Impossible difficulty. It can't be done.
You're just mad you don't have the free time to get caught up, Joe.
See, this right here is what I'm talking about. The f is this guy thinking? He has no body armor and a pistol? He just heard us kill all the other guys. Why didn't he run?
Run where, Joe? We're in space. Besides, he wouldn't have gotten far when the prison break starts.
I guess, man, I still would have just surrendered and tried to get out of this alive. I know sure as shit that Kirill doesn't pay enough for this.
It is pretty wild that we just knowingly free a bunch of dangerous-ass criminals.
We will get an email from a fella called Billy who goes on about how he's going to carve our name into the skull of his next victim. He's also going to come kill us for taking a shot at him on his way out.
Oh, I'm so scared. Look out for f***ing Billy, the guy no one cares about.
If he's smart, he'll keep his distance from us.
Enough yapping, my girl's about to show up.
Look at this no-hair having ass wench.
Donald, I'm not going to warn you again.
Well, it's time for a little bit of false advertising because what Jack is about to do here and what she's actually like in gameplay are completely different.
This level of bullshit should be taken to court. It is absolutely insane how squishy she is in combat.
And her powers are pretty mid too. Pull and shockwave, that's it?
Okay, lay off, we get it. Jack is a little rough in combat. It's the lore that matters.
Ain't no damn way BioWare didn't notice how insanely strong she has to be to solo a bunch of heavy mechs and then how weak they made her as a squad mate.
Taking this as seriously as possible, Jack's rampage through Purgatory might be the best display of destruction for a single individual across the trilogy.
Holy shit, I thought there were only 3 mechs down here. She beat 4 of them.
That's my girl, putting in work right out of her cryo sleep.
All right, time to dive back into some cut content. Well, this is only halfway cut content, I suppose. The character known as the Convict always existed, but it was a little different originally. Instead of the Jack we know now, the Convict would have been an older man who was one of the worst killers in the galaxy, and Shepard would be tasked with breaking him out of prison.
Okay, so it's just Jack, but with a penis.
Thank God they didn't go with that.
This next bit is probably pretty obvious just by looking at Jack, but also if you've listened to some of her backstory, but she was originally a same-sex romance option for female Shepard.
I do recall her saying she was active with a girl and her boyfriend at one point.
That would be a leftover remnant of her original orientation. They must have been pretty far into development when they made the decision to switch Jack.
This recruitment mission is already doing what I wanted the Corliss mission to do. At least the guards and the prisoners can be seen fighting with each other.
Final bit on Jack here. Many of you may be aware that Jack submits poetry under a pen name known as Jacqueline Knopf. This is obviously not Jack's real name. In Mass Effect 3, Liara will reveal it's actually Jessica. And she threatens to leak Jack's last name too, if she asks nicely.
Liara threatening to dox Jack is crazy work, not gonna lie.
That's what happens when you try to beef with the Shadow Broker.
That mech is getting kind of close for my liking.
Relax, it's at its regular health. Okay, never mind, it's real f***ing close now.
POV, what she sees versus what you see.
I do not like the implication of that. And now the Turian is cooking all his merchandise.
All that bluster about having things under control just for it all to go to shit, just because he couldn't stop himself from trying to capture Shepard.
To think all we came here to do was pick up Jack, and now the whole place is burning.
I could have sold you and lived like a king.
You should have just settled for what you had, buddy. You got greedy.
Trouble. At least I can recapture Jack.
Recapture Jack? That's a good one.
Kurl wasn't even the one who caught Jack. It took Kai Lang, Rasa, and a Krogan getting the jump on her to get captured.
Yeah, sure, bud. For the good of the galaxy, my ass. At least my bird had the balls to go to Omega and take on the gangs head-to-head. Your punk ass stayed holed up in your little prison where things are nice and comfortable.
Donald, did you just say something positive about Garrus?
Only because Kurl is the most annoying Turian. Look at him over there, hiding in a fucking bubble when he already has the high ground. What a total bitch. You know what? I'm pretty sure I don't even need to shoot the guards. I'm just going to take out these generators and run a fade on Kurl.
You're right, the combat ends as soon as Kurl has bitten the dust.
Bro is packing an M76 Revenant and his tech armor, and he's cowering away like some immunocompromised child during COVID-19. Kurl might be even more pathetic than Jedor. At least she had the balls to fight straight up.
She had the balls, Donald?
Yes, Joe, women can have balls too, you know. It's 2024, get with the times.
No fucking way. Did you just outflank Joe from the left?
It's pretty easy, to be honest. I just don't feel like doing it most of the time. Anyway, time to show Kurl that he ain't shit and that he should have remained a cop on Palaven.
I touched on this before, I think, but Kurl is kind of a flash forward of how Garrus could have ended up if he were left to his own devices. He's also a former cop who decided to take the laws into his own hands in the Terminus system.
The difference is that Garrus isn't a punk-ass bitch.
True enough, plus Garrus probably wouldn't be dumb enough to try to capture Shepard.
And to his credit, the Turian wasn't exactly taking prisoners on Omega, so he wouldn't have to worry about any jailbreak or any other nonsense like this happening. Another day, another dumbass bird joins the rest of the dinosaurs.
The f you mean stop?
When has yelling stop at someone ever worked? Just shoot them.
Cerberus.
Shorty is crashing out over a symbol.
Oh God, we're overusing the term crash out if it started reaching Donald's ears.
What does crash out mean?
Don't worry about it, Joe. Just stick with saying Riz from 2023 like you've been doing.
What the hell do you want?
Your hand in marriage.
I just saved your ass.
I'm pretty sure Jack had that fodder.
Didn't know it. Now, what the hell do you want?
Like I said, I want your hand in marriage.
Brother, she's more likely to break your hand than anything else.
I'm not going anywhere with you. You're Cerberus.
I'm offering to be your friend. You don't want to be my enemy.
Donald, relax the aggression.
She will literally call you a pussy if you're too nice to her. How am I more in tune with Jack than you are?
You show up in a Cerberus frigate to take me away somewhere? You think I'm stupid?
You definitely sound and look pretty stupid right now.
I've got the only way out. I'm offering to take you with me, and you're arguing.
We could just knock her out and take her.
That's my girl, Miranda, already trying to smoke Jack.
Jack could literally crumble Miranda and her beach ball ass into a blunt and smoke her if she wanted to.
Okay, I actually kind of want to see that.
Tell me what you're thinking.
I bet your ship's got lots of Cerberus databases.
The decision to let Jack go through the Cerberus files is really only a decision as far as you gaining morality goes. Jack will get into the databases on her own if you don't give her immediate access.
You're not authorized to do that.
Shut up, Miranda. I made it clear to you that I'm the one in charge here. I'm authorized to do whatever I want.
Be straight up with me. So why the hell are we standing here?
Move out.
Welcome to the Normandy, Jack.
This is the one time Miranda wants to be on the welcoming committee just so she and Jack can beef.
Tell the Cerberus cheerleader to back off, Shepard. I'm here because of our deal.
Miranda will let you into the system. Let me know what you find.
Miranda, I love you to death, but you might want to relax. You don't want the smoke with Jack.
Definitely not trying to get into it with any girl who has more tattoos than she does clothing.
I don't like a lot of through traffic. Keep your people off me. Better that way.
Shepard.
Just checking in, making sure you're acclimatizing.
You like your new room, my boy?
Not enough cover. Armor is limited. Warlord Grant would target here to scatter heavy cargo.
Sounds like a no to me.
He'll warm up to it. He's got a better room than Rex. At least Grunt doesn't have to stand in the dark.
That's how I learned from the tank. Old pictures where memory is.
It kind of sounds like the memory shards from the Protheans.
Checks out. The technology came from the collectors after all.
No help with finding a reason.
Well, don't worry, son. We'll find you some purpose real soon.
Floating around in there.
Less than a finger deep to sever your spine.
I'd prefer it if he didn't point directly at us when he said that.
Sorry, all soft. Quarians, not so much.
So Quarians are pretty durable then, huh?
More or less, there's a Quarian known as Hilo Ja Vaz Idena, who ends up having his environmental mask broken open, and then he's tortured by Cerberus agent Pell for hours. Despite all that, he survives quite a bit of time before Paul Grayson finds him in a delirium from his injuries.
That sounds like he'd have been better off not being able to endure so much. Did he make it?
Oh no, he f***ing died.
Craters, but so what? My guts were grown from 1,000 more worthy.
Tell me about you, Jack.
Let me guess, Dad wasn't around or something? Is it your problem?
Leave the psychology to Kelly and Shepard Donald.
If they're helping you, that's good enough for me.
Don't be my buddy.
Well, excuse me, Princess. Real nice girl you got here, Joe.
Your friends at Cerberus are into some nasty things.
Trust me, Jack, we know. Let me take another dive into my obviously evil things Cerberus has done file.
What happens when you find what you're looking for?
Oh, here's one I'm sure Jack herself will love to hear.
Anyone who's screwed with me.
How about the time a Cerberus doctor lied to an unidentified woman that her baby suffered a horrific seizure and died, then blamed it on the Alliance's lack of effort into treating Element Zero exposures, just so they take that baby, who was still alive, by the way, and send her to a facility to be tortured so they could unlock her biotic potential.
Which one of the kids was that?
We're looking at her genius.
I feel like Jack wouldn't love to hear that story at all.
Well, if it's any consolation, the Shadow Broker dossier that reveals this information seemingly places Jack's birthplace as Eden Prime. So at least she wouldn't have had to worry about getting caught up in the Geth invasion.
Yeah, but that means her mom probably was there and is dead.
What you don't know can't hurt you.
You don't have to live in this pit, you know.
Actually, there aren't exactly too many other rooms on the Normandy. It's either down here or in the barracks with the rest of the crew.
At least down here, it's harder for Kasumi to invade her privacy.
The fact you can never know if that girl is around watching and listening to you is crazy.
Come on, Kasumi doesn't actually go around spying on the crew.
Joe, Kasumi is the only person on the ship who realizes it if you killed Samara and recruited Morinth. On top of that, she knows where you and Miranda do the deed during her romance. She's definitely spying on everyone.
Okay, so she's got a little freak side to her, we all do.
Who is we? I don't speak French.
Simple.
So Kenneth, did you know we've got a crazy woman squatting down in the subdeck?
What? If she touches anything, I'll kill her.
I'm like 90% sure Jack can hear them from below the floor.
Oh, maybe I should go down and welcome her aboard.
Joe and Kenneth have something in common, it seems.
Powers that could crush you with a blink. Hates everyone in Cerberus.
Damn it, girl. Stop toying with me.
Now, Ken isn't willing to take a risk to be with Jack. He don't got that dog in him like I do.
It's time for a little mandatory chat with the elusive man.
Too bad, Donald. All that big talk about not dying, and you've already died twice before even touching the actual difficult mission.
You still got the most deaths, Joe. Don't mess with me.
Has Morden delivered the countermeasure for the Seeker swarms?
We really need that bug spray from you, Morden.
He works well under pressure. There's something else you should know. One of your former crew, Caden Alenko...
It should be Ashley Williams, but we won't talk about that.
Bro is still thinking about Ashley. Let it go.
One of my former crew? I don't buy it.
It shouldn't be a surprise the collectors are interested in you, especially if they're working for the Reapers. They might be going after him to get to you.
Going after Caden to get to me is about as effective as trying to lure me into a trap. Using a salad.
This is the most warning we've ever had, Shepard. Good luck.
Lilith, we've got a problem.
Yeah, the problem is that you're speaking and not Ashley.
Well, Donald did say he would hold his tongue about Caden until we saw him again, and he's done a pretty good job at it, so I guess he's earned his time to vent.
Surprised people haven't tried to blame that one on me, too.
People out here don't trust the Alliance. It's nothing personal.
Well, look and see we're not trusting the Alliance is going to get you, Lilith.
Nobody who watches the skies for a living noticed the giant f***you spaceship entering the atmosphere.
Horizon isn't exactly a profitable colony or anything. I'm not surprised the collectors got the drop on them so easily.
Why the hell would anyone even want to live here?
It has its perks. Horizon has a wide diversity of animals, including a variety of insects that apparently taste like shrimp.
Yeah, Caden, use your gun, definitely not your biotics.
Also, the bugs on Horizon apparently have the same effect as a mild laxative.
How in the f*** does one even find that out?
The same way we found out that we can take milk from the udders of a cow, bottle it, and sell it to people, and make them think it's 100% something they need to maintain a balanced diet.
The ground here looks like it hasn't seen an ounce of rain in months.
It's probably just autumn in this area of the planet.
In theory, is completely insane.
Experimental technology. Only test is contact with Seeker swarms. Look forward to seeing if you survive.
All right, Morton, when I get back up there, I'm going to be looking forward to finding out what Solarian liver tastes like.
All right, fine. I'll DoorDash some food before Donald tries to take a bite out of one of our squad mates.
Now it's time for our first encounter with the Collectors. Thank God, fighting Blue Sun's mercenaries was getting old.
For being the major antagonist of the game, we spend way too much time not fighting the Collectors.
Shepard's major accomplishments in Mass Effect 2 may as well not be stopping the Collectors. Rather, it's destabilizing the three major mercenary companies in the Terminus.
Not even crazy. So far, we've taken out all three major leaders on Omega and obliterated their numbers, stopped the Blue Sun's Krogan cloning operation, and destroyed a Blue Sun's prison. We're really doing a number on the Sun specifically.
Don't worry, the Blood Pack and the Eclipse are going to get their turn real soon in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, but by doing all this, Arya is going to get to strengthen her position in the Terminus without lifting a finger. So who's really the winner here?
Still us, to be honest.
Oh God, you know what I just realized? This is our first run-in with the Husks in Mass Effect 2.
Gotta give BioWare their props for somehow making the Husks even more annoying than they were in the first game.
Just be glad this isn't the Reaper IFF mission.
Not it.
Not it? Oh God damn it, man, come on.
You gotta be faster than that, Sleepy Joe.
Have fun with the Reaper IFF mission. You love Legion, so it's only natural you get to play his recruitment mission.
I love Legion, but not that damn much. This is bullshit.
Relax, Joe. It'll be later game, and we're on the best class. Even you should be able to handle all the Husks on Insanity difficulty.
You got more faith in him than I do. I look forward to see Joe get boxed in by Husks.
You're talking a lot of shit for a guy who's going to have to play the final area of Horizon, which is also notorious for throwing Husks at you.
Buddy, I am not going to have a problem with the Husks at the end of Horizon. I know I had a harder time than I expected earlier, but let's not get crazy here. Damn, I love the layout of this mission. You got so many ways you can get around the enemy and just surprise them.
Sure as hell beats constantly fighting from a disadvantage during Grunt's recruitment mission.
I'd rather you didn't, if I'm being honest, Turian. I don't want to know what that sounds like.
You had to go there immediately, didn't you, Donald?
He wouldn't be Donald if he didn't.
You know me so well.
Okay, maybe we never needed flashbang grenade ourselves. It's infinitely better if we just bring Kasumi everywhere.
You're only saying that because Kasumi can't miss.
Stuck in stasis, but still aware. Tech like this could save me a lot of trouble on a job.
Jesus Christ, Kasumi. Get some help.
What? She's valid. She just wants to be able to steal things without having to fight anyone.
A third of this colony is being abducted, and she's over here thinking about new ways she would use the Collector stasis fields to steal things.
Pretty based if you ask me. It's not like any of those people are going to miss their worldly possessions when they get melted into biomass.
It's time for our very first run-in with Harbinger.
Serious missed opportunity to never let us face off with the Collector General.
I would have preferred that to the human Reaper larva.
I am assuming direct control.
Look, he said the thing.
Get ready to assume control of this ass-kicking Harbinger?
Dealing with Harbinger is all about weighing the decision to focus him down, or to clear the other Collector troops just so Harbinger can't take over another one.
There's almost nothing more annoying than getting to the last two Collector troops and then seeing one of them start glowing and getting all their health back in the form of armor and a new barrier.
I'd rather that than have Harbinger shooting its annoying-ass warp blast and singularity the entire firefight.
You can usually avoid Harbinger's projectiles by simply strafing left and right. It doesn't ever use its guns, so most of its attacks are dodgeable.
I didn't realize that was a destructible crate.
Also, Kasumi's flashbang grenade will suppress Harbinger's abilities, which makes it completely harmless for the duration. This is why Kasumi is one of the best squad mates in gameplay. And for the record, I'm digging your decision-making here, Donald. You're playing this perfectly.
You always got to lock in for the final mission of the day.
I'm surprised Harbinger isn't chasing you down.
I'm pretty sure it lost track of Donald when he looped around. What's really surprising is that Garrus and Kasumi haven't died yet. Usually squad mates drop to Harbinger pretty damn quick.
You see how the singularity blast flew off course? It'll basically always arc over you if you pop out of cover and go right back down.
I don't know if that was intended design or not, but it is pretty funny that the homing for Harbinger's attacks completely breaks just from a little basic movement.
Gotta remember to watch your flank, Harby.
No more abilities for him. He's cooked.
Not over yet, though. There's a second wave coming up after Harbinger goes down.
Let's see if I can't take these last few out before Harbinger tries to assume direct control again.
There's a bit of a cooldown before Harbinger can take over again, so you should have this.
Don't get too comfortable, Donald.
Just a slight setback. I'm still clearing this.
While we're here, I'll talk about some of the things Harbinger says about the alien races of our squad. For the most part, every other alien species is viewed as useless for one reason or another, such as the Quarians' weakened immune system, Krogan sterilization, or Salarian lifespan. All of our human squad mates will provoke some kind of response that suggests they are viable for ascending.
Ah, the good old humans are special. Trope strikes again.
It is weird that Harbinger calls the Turians primitive, but insists that humans are good to go.
Maybe that Harbinger guy isn't too crazy after all.
Harbinger's literally wrong about that. Humans get turned into husks. Meanwhile, Turians turn into marauder shields. The most fierce opponents in the series, Turians are definitely more viable.
Knock, knock, anyone home?
Did bro just drop a fork or something?
That moment when you drop a cup, when you're trying to get a snack at 3 in the morning, and it sounds like a whole fucking marching band is passing by.
You're human. What are you doing out here? You lead them right here.
Dilan here shares the same voice actor as Harbinger.
Well, that's not good. The boss of the Reapers has disguised himself as a cranky old mechanic.
Dilan isn't that bad, Joe.
Yeah, you're right. I guess he doesn't look that old.
Dear God, just seeing this area gives me PTSD.
Here come those husks I'm supposed to be afraid of.
Okay, I guess it's a little different when you have a wide open space to move around in.
That's weird. I could have sworn a couple scions were supposed to spawn here with the husks.
I don't remember that at all.
There were definitely 2 scions here in the original Mass Effect 2. That's why this area was so damn scary.
Well, I for one am glad they aren't here because a bunch of husk scions, a Praetorian, and Harbinger is absolutely insane.
It was annoying as hell because you couldn't take cover anywhere due to the husks, but couldn't walk around freely because of the scions. Not to mention that they might set off the explosive canisters in the area.
They made Horizon less aggravating, it seems. Now, if only they'd done the same for the Dead Reaper mission as well.
I don't know why you're complaining about it when I'm the one who has to play it.
I have to sit here and watch you play it, and I know it deep in my bones that you're going to fumble big time.
Good work on the husks, Donald. You're playing Horizon surprisingly well.
It shouldn't be surprising at all. I'm just that guy.
Normandy, do you copy?
Joker here. Signal's weak, Commander, but we got you.
Joker, get your ass over here and shoot the collector vessel.
I don't think we upgraded the Phanex cannon yet, but if we had, it would be pretty funny for us to just take out the collector vessel right now and rid it from being a problem.
Not that I'd care, but we'd probably kill a bunch of still alive people in the process.
It is what it is.
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice a few lives to save the day.
So when Cerberus does it, they're evil, but when we do it, it's all good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Get off the elusive man's lap, Donald.
We'll stop them. Easy enough.
Maybe not. Enemy reinforcements closing in. I suggest you ready weapons.
We are kind of doing the opposite of holding the defense tower. Looks like the collectors have it.
Please hold a defense tower.
Oh, wait a second. What am I doing?
What are you doing, indeed?
So much for locking in on the final mission.
I don't even have anything to say about that one. All I can say is go again.
Making you restart from the very first wave is devious work.
I'm with you.
Lead the way.
The collectors are really making you sweat, Donald.
I'm going to remember you saying that when you end up on the collector vessel, Joe, going to be funny as hell when you get stuck on the platform section.
Barry, can we swap orders for the next 2 episodes?
Absolutely not. I had to do Kasumi's loyalty mission without weapon upgrades. It's your turn to struggle.
What in the f***?
Not Kasumi coming over here and teabagging on you too. That's crazy.
Don't even try to say that was a mistake. You ran up on it and got skill checked hard as hell.
Yeah, well, f*** the both of you.
Also, Donald, I told you I'd remember this, but you said you wouldn't die 5 times in one episode like Joe, and you're up to 4 right now. Which, might I add, puts me back as the player with the least deaths. Joe has 10 and you have 8, while I'm sitting pretty at 6.
Yeah, whatever, man. Don't pat yourself on the back too hard. I told you I wasn't dying 5 times and I fucking meant it.
It's not too late for the Praetorian to kill you.
I'm not even going to play around with this thing. It's heavy weapon time.
I don't blame you. I'm glad these annoying ass things weren't carried over into Mass Effect 3.
They aren't in the main game, but you can encounter Praetorians in the Armax Arsenal arena.
Sounds like I'll continue avoiding the Armax Arsenal arena outside of that romance moment with Jack.
It's actually kind of fun, to be honest. It's a good challenge.
Baraki's been avoiding anything resembling a challenge in Mass Effect right up until we started this playthrough. He's not going to fight the Spectre tier opponents.
The beams are crossing.
It'd be cool if we had a beam struggle like in Dragon Ball.
Dear God, please get it before it tries to charge up another barrier.
Don't worry, it ends here.
Damn, I hate those things.
Well, Joe, you're going to get to deal with another one later on. I hope you took notes.
No! Don't let him get away!
The f*** you want me to do, jump after them?
Bro should have picked up a gun and lent a hand if he wanted to save his friends.
There's nothing we can do. They're gone.
Half the colony's in there. They took Egan and Sam and Lilith.
Well, you can go ahead and forget about seeing Lilith again.
Fine, I'll do something. Let me get Grunt in here and he'll toss your ass after the collector ship.
To be specific, the Horizon colony had a population of 654,390 prior to the collector invasion. The collectors made off with 1/3 of the colony, so they took 215,948 people, give or take.
You're some type of big alliance hero.
Commander Shepard.
Captain of the Normandy, the first human Spectre, savior of the Citadel.
Goddamn Caden, you survived Vermeer just to come in here glazing another grown man like you're a LeBron fan.
Over 200,000 people were taken, and somehow our former squad mate manages to avoid abduction, even though we saw them get frozen fairly early on.
It is odd, especially when Lilith gets taken, even though she didn't make it too far away from where Caden was. We've said it before, but having the Vermeer survivor avoid being abducted was a huge miss. Could have seriously increased the stakes of the suicide mission if Caden's or Ashley's lives were in the balance.
Not to mention, if they had been abducted, we could have avoided this stupid-ass conversation that has done irreversible damage to both characters' perception and the community.
You're with Cerberus now. Garrus, too.
There is a stark difference between being with Cerberus and working with Cerberus, and I wish I could take a nail and hammer that into his skull.
If you bring Tali here, the Vermeer survivor will also react to her presence with Shepard.
Be the next one to get hit. Anderson stonewalled me, but there were rumors that you weren't dead.
I wonder who was spreading rumors about his being alive.
I mean, we did kind of stop on the Citadel for a few minutes to pick up Kasumi. I'm sure someone saw us.
There's that, and also the fact that the elusive man was leaking information.
Do you really believe that? Or is that just what Cerberus wants you to think?
There isn't anything I can say that can convince you. You'll just have to wait until we steal their highly advanced spaceship, steal one of their top operatives, and then start killing all of their guys.
I feel like most people forgive the Vermeer survivor for not joining up with us, and for not approving of us working with Cerberus, because as I've laid out, they're pretty damn evil. But it's their attitude in this moment that I take issue with. Like goddamn, have at least an ounce of faith.
I want to believe you, Shepard, but I don't trust Cerberus. They could be using the threat of a Reaper to manipulate you.
All right, but listen, Canada boy, you literally saw the Collector stealing the colonist.
Damn it, Caden. You're so focused on Cerberus that you're ignoring the real threat.
Even the goddamn bird brain over here understands the deal more than Caden.
And this is why I'll say Tali and Garrus are the top two squad mates until the day I die.
What does reason figure into any of this? You've changed, but I still know where my loyalties lie. I'm an Alliance soldier. Always will be. I've got to report back to the Citadel. They can decide if they believe your story or not.
Caden, my boy, you're the one who was supposed to get nuked on Vermeer. I just want you to think about that when you're trying to sleep tonight. Ashley should be here instead of you.
So long, Commander. Good luck.
Jesus Christ, I know cigarettes no longer pose a health concern, but does the elusive man just smoke 3 packs a day or something?
He's a very stressed man. He needs to take the edge off somehow.
I just know the inside of his room probably smells like straight smoke and ash.
What the hell is the cameraman cooking? I can practically count the pores on his face.
You got to understand that this game came out in 2010. They were really trying to show off how realistic the graphics were back then.
And I'll hit it. Our target is set, but we can't reach it yet. It's their home world.
I guess we're really gonna do it.
Hasn't anyone ever taught this guy it's rude to eavesdrop?
Collectors in person. Looking forward to the action. After seeing what those bastards did on Horizon, though.
Thank you for your wonderful insight on the plan, Jacob.
I need you sharp and focused if we're gonna get this done, Taylor.
That's what I meant, Commander. I don't want any distractions when we hit the relay.
Oh great, that means we have to help Jacob deal with his daddy problems.
I imagine everyone else is too. Getting some closure, you know?
It'd be nice if all you clowns could have gotten your closure without involving us, but fine, whatever.
Well, we've reached the end of the line for this episode. 3 episodes into Mass Effect 2, and the hierarchy in deaths has been corrected, just as I expected.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts when you play next time, Barry.
God willing, he gets clapped up.
Cry about it. Next time, it'll finally be time for us to pay a proper visit to the Citadel, and after that, I'll complete the 3 recruitment missions we just unlocked. You know the drill. Stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one.